Hey, what's up guys, it's Sub-15, and in this video I'll be showing you guys my 5 very best tips for you to become Sub-15 on 3x3. Alright, so before we truly go in depth, I first want to discuss the time splits in order to achieve that Sub-15 barrier. So your cross needs to be done under 1.8 seconds, F2L 7.5 seconds, OLL 2.4 seconds, PLL should be done under 3.3 seconds. That being said, we're also being joined by MC Stuffs, aka Maxwell Chan.
FV, if you put this, like all these stuff that I'm like stupidly saying, put this in the bloopers, you know? It's Rode mic. Oh my gosh. Alright, it's in there now.
He's gonna be giving away some of his tips on how to be Sub-15 as well, and all his social media accounts will be linked down below. Make sure you guys check it out. He has amazing content. Oh, and one more thing, if you guys saw my Instagram story, I asked some people to send me some of their solves for me to analyze if they're having trouble with Sub-15, and it actually helped me give out these tips because I mainly saw what are the major similarities and weaknesses that you guys had. So thank you guys for checking in. Let me tell you guys, Sub-15 is a hard barrier to break, so without further ado, Max will be giving away his tips.
What's up? It's MC Stuff here, and how exactly do you become Sub-15 on the Rubik's Cube? Well, one of the biggest tips that I found is to start your solve off well. So if you start your solve off well, you're going to end well. At least what I think. So basically, the first step in solving a cube, the CFOP method, I'm going to be talking about that because I use CFOP, is to solve your cross first. So I solve white cross, but it can apply to any other color cross. But essentially, you want to start by solving your cross in under 8 moves or less, because every cross solve can be solved in under 8 moves. So the way you're going to be going about solving your cross in under 8 moves, if you aren't already doing it, is watching example solves from other faster people than you, preferably like sub 10 people, because they're a lot faster than you if you're trying to get to sub 15. But at the same time, work on doing slow solves and trying to find the best cross solution. I know this sounds a bit redundant, but it really will help. If you start strong, you will end strong as well. So that's something you want to look out for. But I could just be saying this, and you may be thinking, Max, who are you to say this? Well, I'm sub 15, and let me just go over a quick example of a cross on this scramble. It's just a hand scramble. I don't really care what the scramble is. I'll be doing white cross, so let's get into it. There's no scramble to follow along, but I'm looking through my viewfinder, so yeah. Alright, this cross isn't particularly too good. We got this cross piece here, this here, and then this here as well. So the way I'm going to go about solving it is by moving this piece over with a B, so this green piece over, and so that's one move, and then I'll put it in like that, so these two are solved. And then before moving this over and then solving this for something, as an example, I do first an F prime here to move that over, so that's 3 moves, and then next I'd move the whole cross over, 4, and then insert those two in, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 moves right there. A pretty slow cross in terms of move count, but it still gets the job done. So the reason why you want your cross to be a low move count is when you get a little bit more advanced and you start planning your first pair on 3x3, it's going to be a lot easier because your move count is lower. You don't have to track the pieces with as many moves. It's going to make it a lot easier for look ahead. So those are just the things that I look out for. Yeah, so if you check out, I will also try to give you my first ever sub 15 in competition. I'll show you what that was exactly. Otherwise, that's about it. Cross is extremely important, and the first step, start strong, you'll end strong. That's the motto here. Thanks for watching my segment of the video. This is MC Stuff. Peace out.
I definitely agree with Max there, because for most of the solves I've seen, there's always a pause right after they do the cross, and you don't want that. So there's only one thing to fix that, and that's by doing your cross blindfolded. But just like what Max said, your cross should always be under 8 moves and under 1.8 seconds. Do this for about 1 week and you'll definitely see a progression, trust me. Number 2, use your less dominant hand and minimize rotations. Alright, so let's talk about minimizing rotations first. There are various ways in order to prevent rotations. There's actually 2. One is using your less dominant hand. 2 is learning efficient F2L cases. Now the reason why I combined all of these is because it all branches out. So like in order to prevent rotations, you need those 2. Alright, so here's a really basic example. You have a pair over here and another one over here. Now I'm right-handed, so obviously my less dominant hand is my left one. Some people would do this. They'd insert this pair first, which is a good thing. And they solve this F2L pair by rotating and doing it on their right hand, which you don't want because you're trying to prevent rotations here. A better way to do this is by inserting this pair first, which is a good thing, and doing this alg on your left. I'm really hoping you guys see where this is going, and I hope you guys got my point. Now, if you're still using intuitive F2L, this is a sign that you should learn how to do advanced F2L. And a small heads up, there are actually F2L cases that require rotation and some don't. But for the most part, try your best to find an F2L case with no rotations. Also, there are various ways you could solve an F2L pair. That's why you really just have to find which one you're comfortable with. For example, this one, you could solve it like that. And you could also solve it like this. Tip number 3 is doing slow solves. I'd recommend doing slow untimed solves or timed as well, because it really just helps improving your look ahead. When we're doing timed solves, we're mainly focusing on the speed. So on the screen right now is the differences between a rushed solve compared to a slow solve. You can really see how it impacts your look ahead, and you get the chance to look for the next pair. Tip number 4 is learn efficient pair insertions. Alright, so here's an example. You have a pair right in front of you and it needs to go over here at the back. You can't just do that then insert it because it's not proper. And most people would actually just rotate and insert the pair like that, which is inefficient. And keep in mind, we're trying to avoid rotations here. Now a good way to insert this pair is by doing a U2, wide R prime, U prime, R, U, M. Here's another example. I know this case is really easy, but we also have to take consider of the cross pieces on top, the yellow pieces. So if we normally insert it like that, we're gonna get this case, which is kind of a bad case, but if we inserted it with a sledgehammer, we would have gotten a better case, which is a fish case. My last tip is practice. I know, you might have overheard this already, but there's no other way around it. It takes thousands of solves and hours of practice to really get what you want. And it also depends on what type of cuber you are at the end. So I started cubing in 2017 and my very first comp was in 2018. And I got my first sub-15 in that comp. I really felt so accomplished, but that was only a single. About 8 months later, my times dropped from 17 average to 11 average officially on my second comp. But with all these tips given out, I think you can do this in less than 1 week with hard work. I also get asked this question a lot. Do you need full PLL and OLL to be sub-15? My answer is yes for PLL and no for OLL. But you at least need to learn to look OLL. If you have the time and motivation to learn full OLL, then it's a lot better. I promise you guys that it'll be worth it to learn it now, because you'll also be needing this when you want to be sub 10. Anyways guys, that wraps it up for this video. Once again, I want to thank Max and for the people who sent me their videos. Always keep in mind,
Start strong, you'll end strong.
thanks for watching guys, bye.